Topping our news, one person is dead after an overnight blaze. Firefighters got the call around midnight in Tullahoma. That's in Coffee County. So far, we know that one person was killed and another was transported to Vanderbilt Medical Center with injuries. No other details are known at this time. A break-in turns deadly in South Nashville after a resident opens fire on an intruder. Police say a man was heard kicking in a door, then walking around inside someone else's unit at the Hickory Point Apartments on Old Hickory Boulevard overnight. The resident yelled freeze. The intruder reached for his waistband, and that's when the resident shot and killed him. Metro Police are working on identifying the intruder, who had a semi-automatic pistol in his front pocket. Authorities say the resident cooperated fully with detectives and no charges will be filed. The Vanderbilt community still in shock this morning after an act of terrorism takes the life of a graduate student. Police say a Palestinian man went on a stabbing spree near Tel Aviv, killing 28-year-old Taylor Force and injuring 6 others. The attacker was shot and killed by Israeli police. Force was in Israel on a spring break trip to learn about global entrepreneurship and meet with local startup companies. Before starting Vanderbilt's MBA program, Force graduated from West Point and served tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Vanderbilt is now working to get its other students and faculty on that trip back home safely. A former Metro City councilman was in court today, facing charges that he tried to coerce the victim in a brutal domestic assault case. Lanell Green pled not guilty this morning. He's charged with trying to coerce the victim in a domestic assault case involving his cousin to not testify. His cousin also pled not guilty to that same charge today. Green resigned over the scandal back in January. His vacant seat in District 1 will be filled during the countywide election in August. Both men will be back in court in April. One of the jurors in the Erin Andrews trial now speaking out about the verdict. One of the 12 people was Noble Taylor, a sergeant with Metro Police. He tells us that their decision wasn't unanimous at first, but after 7 hours of deliberating, they were all finally able to agree. Taylor thought Andrews should be awarded the amount she asked for, $75 million, but the jury worked out a final number of $55 million. He has served on juries before, but says this case was one of the more difficult ones.
It's trying times. It was more trying for her, of course, but I'm thinking just the amount of emotion that I put into this thing in these 10 days, I can imagine what she went through in 8 years, and what she's got to go through for the rest of her life. I can imagine.
Taylor says he hopes the verdict will help to change privacy and safety procedures, especially in the hotel industry.